This review of Shantae, Half Genie Hero may contain spoilers and coarse language. If neither of those bother you, then have fun watching and enjoying this review. Finally, after a successful Kickstarter and years of waiting, it's finally out! Now I can finally say that there's something on Kickstarter worth backing. Sorry, Shovel Knight, I didn't actually back you. Oops. Shantae, Half Genie Hero is a game that I have been looking forward to for years. Ever since day one, and it finally came out. Did it live up to the hype that I had? No. Because it was even higher than that! Even my highest expectations were still impressed by this game. Half Genie Hero was worth the build-up. Almost everything in this game is fantastic, and a few more tweaks could make it one of the best. So, how does Game of the Year start out? Half Genie Hero starts out simple. Shantae has a dream where the Genie realm warns her about an unprecedented evil. Shantae then does her Genie duty to save Scuttletown from Risky Boots plundering Main Street. Shantae is then fired from her job. Damn it again. Anyway, Shantae decides to help her uncle collect pieces of a machine so she can find a way to completely protect Scuttletown and also make Shantae get her job back. While this plot doesn't have much meat on its bones, the dialogue and humor in it are excellent. While there's the occasional hand-wavy part that makes me question the date of this game, it still got away with making me laugh many times. And if you don't like that then, that's fine. You can skip nearly every cutscene in the game should you please. I wouldn't recommend it because this game is funny as hell, and many of the characters are likable. Though my only critique is that Shantae has usually been somewhat airheaded, but now her personality is a bit more grounded. She's still goofy and has her moments, and it's a change I'm alright with, but I kinda wish Shantae kept that little bit of her personality. But hey, if you want to skip all these and go straight to the gameplay, that's fine too. Shantae, Half Genie Hero is a Metroidvania with a lot of regular platforming tropes in it. You do revisit levels often and have tons of new abilities and useless crap to collect. Shantae has usual platforming motifs such as jumping and attacking via whipping her hair with her immunity to whiplash. Shantae also has a variety of transformations and magics at her disposal. Shantae can transform into a monkey, crab, bat, elephant, harpy, mermaid, mouse, and spider. All of these transformations have helpful uses, but some have more utility than others. Much like the bat doesn't have any actual attacks, and the monkey is just amazing for platforming. I personally like the monkey the most, but the harpy and mermaid transformations are really fun too. These transformations are also really fast, and the most versatile ones are usually on the first screen, so you don't have to wait too long to switch to them. There are also 6 other transformation dances that Shantae can use. She can turn into a tree, which she can then use to make fruit for herself. And one that I love to spam is the screen nuke. This screen nuke is so powerful that, look at all that, everything's dead. Like, at best I could say that this is really... well, there you go, that's how fucking powerful it is. Besides being an instant screen nuke, there are also 2 other very important ones. The Auto Revive lets you heal yourself if you don't have any food, and the Warp Dance lets Shantae skip some sections of a level. The ones that aren't straight up transformations cost magic to use. The ones that are, don't. With this, you can just trade out the 2 best that you like. You can always have the Jug where you can spam money at the cost of the Warp, or you can get rid of the screen nuke to be a blobfish. Well, it's not crashing the game, I guess. Oh, speaking of magic, Shantae has a small magic meter that she can use for a variety of different magics, such as a fireball or to summon scimitars. The ones I've mentioned are my favorites, but these magics all have different tiers to them. This leads to upgrades in this game. Shantae can find health containers lying around to increase her max health. You can also find portals to take you to new areas where you can find upgrades for your transformations, such as new attacks or new ways to traverse. Those are basically the only direct upgrades Shantae can find. The rest of the upgrades are found through artifacts, and most of them can be found in the item shop. In this shop, there's a variety of different items to find here, mainly the magic upgrades, and regular upgrades too. Shantae can also get a backdash and increase her damage and speed for her main attack. It's nice that this is all in one spot, and you can still find a few things like this in the wild. like the waterfall relic and the red and green stones that you can find in the stages. If you ever need help looking for some of these items, you can always go to the bathhouse and talk to the girl there. Her entire existence is based around giving you hints, so you may as well talk to her if you don't know where to look. The townspeople can also help you out too, so don't ever worry about missing an item. There's also a hidden snake girl vendor who, besides confusing my emotions, also sells hidden magic dances. She's a good pit stop midway through a level. The great thing about these relics too is, like Symphony of the Night, you can toggle them on and off to play how you want. You also have a whistle that lets you quit to the main map at any time. You can also find food in the wild that you can't usually buy in store that heals a good chunk of health. You may chomp into these foods once in a while because this game does throw a few curveballs at you. One thing I must commend this game for is its level design. As stated before, you revisit many areas many times in this game, but they are usually within good taste and have a lot of hidden things in them. One example I have to share is the mouse transformation. You see these blocks in the level geometry? Just some detail, right? Wrong! That's a little Pac-Man maze that you get to solve. One thing I'm a little iffy on is how stages are structured. Usually when you complete a world, then you go back to one, and in this case it's a much more forced revisit. In my personal opinion, I like it when next stages are offered to you and you have to revisit because you want to. However, despite revisiting levels being forced, when you go back, you do see a lot of new elements that change the entire stage, so at least it's not boring in any sense. For example, in Tasseltown, this whole tower is a section where you have to run away from the boss very quickly. Then you return to it to help someone in the tower to not only be able to explore it, but to see that you could destroy the fire-emitting bastards that gave you so much trouble beforehand. There's also a lot of flexibility in the level design. For example, usually you would have to switch to Bat Shantae in order for you to get up here. However, with a clever monkey bullet, you can easily make it up there too. This game certainly does pull the rug from under your feet a lot, and in some cases, literally. But you get to see a lot of creative level design in this game too. I have to say that this is the strongest point to this game next to its gameplay, but that's because it's a huge compliment to the gameplay. Platforming is definitely the primary focus in this game, and while not the main focus, the combat in this game is alright too. There's not much to say about the combat with this one. It's a very simple system in this game. You fight enemies and they die. Then you get some money, and you can spend it in the shops. Now the bosses! Man, do I wish I could fight a lot of them again. I like many of the bosses in this game, and I think the best ones take place in rotating arenas straight out of Klonoa and Sonic Rush. My favorite is the Ammo Baron fight, in which he summons and fires his own men at Shantae and uses them as actual meat shields. But I also love the Giga Mermaid and the final boss fight. Let me tell you, that final boss is awesome as hell, and I don't even want to spoil it. Yeah, it's a really nice section that takes a lot of advantages of the 2D rotating arena. You can't see it though. But hey, that's okay. Every boss looks really cool, right? Half Genie Heroes graphics are almost incredible. The colors are bright and vibrant, the stages are memorable and have good art, and the character designs are very nice and memorable, like something straight out of a well-known cartoon. There's never a single frame of animation that doesn't play right. Except for this glitch. Why does that happen? Now, why did I say almost incredible? You can see this game, you can see how much attention to detail is put into it, except for one thing, the animation. This is more of a nitpick than an overall critique, and it's something the developers couldn't really avoid. Basically, when this game uses traditional animation in it, it's a very pretty moving game, and the illusion of movement is at its best when it's used. However, most side stuff has tweening animation in it. Thankfully though, this game isn't something out of Canada's back alleys of crappy animation, as there's still a considerable amount of effort put into it. I wish this whole game was traditionally animated, but again, that's not happening. And what we have still is very good. Again, this is more of a nitpick, and I know some people won't mind it as much as I do, but I know what people can't contest: the sound. This game's soundtrack is incredible. Absolutely filled to the brim with effort and memorability in it. It's clear whoever composed this game's soundtrack put a lot of love to make sure people would love it. Oh, it's Jake Kaufman. That explains why it's so good. Don't believe me? Ah, how naive you are. Please listen. See what I mean? That's the good stuff. This game is chock full of awesome music, and that's what makes it such a joy to revisit some levels. The sound effects in this game are nice and responsive. They're all balanced very well, and what is important sounds important. There's nothing that comes to mind that's a bit iffy with the sound effects, as everything works and sounds right. Now, the voice acting in this game is strangely nice. I'm usually not fond of platformers having voice acting in them, especially when it's from annoying jerks that block you on Twitter because you said their acting was bad. But thankfully, Christina V is not one of those people. I hope. Christina V, please don't block me on Twitter. You're really good and I loved you as Sarah Bell on Skullgirls. Christina V does a great job as Shantae and, I guess everyone else. She's the only voice actress in the credits. I don't know. Christina V's voice clips aren't always played, and there's plenty of variation in what she says so that it doesn't get boring.
I'm ready! Let's go! Let's go! Rep to go! Rep to go!
That slight variation makes it so that hearing her voice doesn't get old after a while and you don't get annoyed by it, which is good because she is a good voice actress. It does make me wonder what this game would have been like if it had full voice acting in it. Ah, well... maybe full Genie Hero will have it. Oh god, please don't call it that. Once you complete this game, you're able to revisit it in a New Game Plus variant called Hero Mode. In this mode, you basically have nothing except for your main transformations that you got during the game. This makes traversing levels a lot faster, and it's way easier to get to 100% completion. And that's really it. It's faster, but, it doesn't really do that much. One thing that I do think is a shame is the options menu. Currently on my PC build of the game as of this upload, there's no option to play this game windowed. At all. There's also some glitches with the keyboard, like how you can't assign the enter key because you don't have a return variant. Excuse me. I'm glad that I know this because I'm the only human being on the planet that plays 2D platformers with a keyboard, so I can find these faults. I also dislike the volume being one bar instead of separate things like music, sound effects, and voice acting. Again, it's balanced very well in this game, but it would have been nice to have the option to play with those. So, are there any changes I would like to make to this game? Well, yeah, there usually are. I, for one, would add the ability to see the game completion rate in-game. I had to keep checking the menu to see if what I was doing was enough to complete the game, but nope. Never got the chance to see that in game. I also wish that there was a little bit more balance put into these artifacts. For one, the magical tiara just gives you infinite magic. That's really broken. Instead, I think that what it should do is it should regenerate magic somewhat slowly, but at the same time, doesn't do it while you're still using magic either. That would give it the same properties, but then it would have some more balance to it. I would also love it if the PC version, along with other versions of the game, had the options that I was listing previously. And also, I'd make the bat sonar not some passive thing. I'd make it an attack that, when used, illuminates the only dark room that you ever use it in. I'm not gonna start this one with also. But, I would also— damn it! I would like it if Hero Mode took advantage of the fact that Shantae has those abilities early, and they made some new levels that cater to those abilities. It would certainly make Hero Mode look a lot more appealing because now there's a better reason to play the game again because there's different level design. I mean, it would be like a nice little hard mode or an extra mode, which I think would have been way better for Hero Mode. This would be more of an animation thing, but I would love to see Shantae, mimic the animals that she's transforming into. Like, if she was turning to the monkey, she would be sitting on her butt and she'd have her hands up like the paws. It would be so cute. That's something I would have loved to see. And finally, with the sliding section, I would like to see these be one-way platforms. Just like in the magic carpet area, when Shantae would get hit, she would jump back up. However, in these, she doesn't do that. I think it would be more fair if she was able to jump back up, especially in that final stage. That's all I can really see being changed in this game. Shantae Half Genie Hero was so worth the wait that this is the shortest amount of time I spent working on a review. This game is so damn good that I had to tell every single person how good it is. And while I'm in the middle of getting things ready for Christmas, I still squeezed this in to make sure and tell you how damn good this game is. Shantae Half Genie Hero is an incredible game, extremely close to perfection, and definitely worth the $15 I invested into it. However, it was stupid of me to not get the soundtrack. Like, what is wrong with me? I'll fix that when it's out. Look, my point is, get the hell out there and buy this game. And look, what I just talked about, that was just Shantae. There's going to be even more playable characters when WayForward finishes them in this game. So hey, grab it while it's hot. I would totally recommend you get Shantae Half Genie Hero because man did it do a fantastic job. So much so that not having it in your collection is a big mistake. Alright, which one of you is going to be the first to make something of that vendor?